Alexa, what color are the Jews?
Here's something I found from the article Color of the Cross on Wikipedia. In addition to persecuting Jews in general, the Romans also viewed Jews who are black in skin color as a more troublesome ramification than just ordinary white Jews.
Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Yahweh being the true name for the Heavenly Father, Yahushai being the name for his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, the top of this truth and rule well, and salutations to you, hopeful elect, pushing this truth in all honesty and sincerity. This is Brother Yahweh Sab coming to you, the spirit power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. This lesson is going to be going into the Great Awakening. The spirit is moving right now to where a lot of people are waking up to the truth of who the true children of Israel are, man. What you've seen in the video is, of course, you had to do to just ask Alexa, which is that smart system where you can speak to it and it basically picks up your voice. It searches for anything that you may need to find. And he asked, what are the color of the Jews? And it straight up basically told him that in a roundabout way that the Jews originally are black, and and the Romans had a problem with the black Jews. The white ones, of course, didn't necessarily have a problem with it because those were just Edomites that took on some of the customs of the real Jews, which are the so-called black, Latino, and Native American people, the real Hebrew Israelites. They took on some of those customs and they switched it up to the way they deemed fit for themselves. Try to force themselves to being a part of this thing when they're not. But just the fact that he was able to ask this box that and it came up with that information really says a lot, And over camp, Salaki had to get something up for edification here. But over camp, majority of last camp this past weekend, we spit with two Jakes that came up and was inquiring about the truth, and they knew a lot of information, and they were pretty much on point with most of everything that they were saying. They asked a lot of questions. You can tell that they were still learning. But a lot of the answers that they were given, you can tell that they've been watching, Great Millstone, or at least somebody that teaches the same doctrine, because they were really on point with what they were saying. So you've seen the example of Alexa, saying that, basically admitting that the Jews are black. And then you have a lot of celebrities coming out talking about the Israelites, such as Kodak Black. You got Nick Cannon. You got let's see, what's another one? Kendrick Lamar. And now you got Crazy Bone coming out, says exposes pagan holidays. Which that whole group, they knew they were Israelites anyway. They know a lot of the truth. But going down to the comment board, when you look at the comment board, you look at how many people that are responding here are Israelites. Basically backing them up, hey, these pagan holidays, the Christmas, Halloween, New Year's, Thanksgiving, all these different holidays, is being talked about within this video of Crazy Bone exposing pagan holidays. And look at how many people are commenting, man. There's a lot of Israelites speaking on this. The vast majority of this comment board is all Israelites. And the truth has been out there for a while, even going back to the time of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Malcolm X, one of the brothers brought out a good point, is Malcolm X actually began learning under Abba Bivens, who really kicked off this thing and woke up a lot of people to the truth. He began to learn under him. That's just why Malcolm X started, to denounce the whole Muslim shit. And next thing you know, he was ended up assassinated because him and I believe MLK was getting ready to come up with something else. I believe they wanted to come up with a way to start speaking on that. Once that agenda was getting ready to take place, Esau, took them guys out, took them dudes out, man, because they used certain individuals to push certain things to keep us asleep. And Islam was one of them. And Malcolm X was one of the guys that actually woke up to the truth. He mentioned in one of his interviews talking about the Israelites and how we were those people. So the truth has been out here, but now we're at the very end of this thing. It's beginning to spread like wildfire, and you got more news articles coming out. Brother shared videos of them demonizing the Hebrew Israelites again on the news. Set up somebody else that committed some type of murder or something like that, and framing you know, his faith base of being in the truth, you know, as being behind it. You know what I mean? So what I want to do is I'm gonna go to some scriptures here. This is the book of Daniel 12:4. It says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." Okay, so during the time of time periods of the Old Testament, so on and so forth, a lot of those prophets were prophesying, but they didn't necessarily understood what they were speaking about. You know, they were just speaking the things, the visions that the Lord told them to say and speak on, but they didn't understand everything that they were saying. You know, a lot of those were dark sayings and visions that they didn't quite grasp yet. But now, you know, the book has been unsealed. You know, seal's been broken, and now everybody is finding out about the times of Revelation and all those things that prophets spoke of, and is physically seeing it happen. They're seeing the mark of the beast play out. They're seeing the world wars play out. They're seeing the nuclear destruction that was written and spoken of. They're seeing that play out. They're seeing the time of Jacob's trouble, which is martial law, and the people being rounded up and thrown in concentration camps. All these things people are able to see and understand that it was actually written about thousands of years ago. You know, so now people are running to and fro, and the knowledge is being increased. It's no coincidence that many people on Crazy Bones comment board on this video is talking about the truth and knowing that they're Israelites. A lot of people are dropping that Christianity shit. People are leaving the churches. They're understanding that, you know, so-called Jesus is not a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white man. It's a so-called black man with white woolly hair. And he's angry, and he feels some type of way and acts some type of way. And he's coming back to get his revenge and to punish. People are beginning to find out the truth. People are driving by. I notice every camp, more and more cars are driving by honking their horns, you know, giving thumbs up, putting their fists out the air, you know, saluting us or whatever, and shalom. And more random people are beginning to acknowledge what we're doing now because they know what it is. And then you got, on the other hand, you got millions of people that are still dead ass asleep and have no clue and think we're just some crazy people out there speaking out our ass, you know. But nonetheless, the truth is out there, and it's beginning. That fire has been lit, and that flame is growing, man. This is Deuteronomy 32:7. It says, "Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people, Jacob the lot of his inheritance." People are beginning to understand who those people are, who the Lord's portion is. It's the children of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites. And it's not those gutter out Jews over there in the land of Israel currently occupied in that land. They don't belong there. Okay? That's our land. And the world has now been woken up to that. That's a very known common fact that those are not the true Jews over there, man. And if you speak out against it, what do they call it? They label it as being anti-Semitism. Well, how can you be anti-Semitic or anti-Semitism when we are the actual Shemitic people? That it makes no sense. But those are the things that Esau has set up to try to keep people asleep. John 10:16, it says, "And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring. And they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd." People are beginning to hear the Lord's voice. They're hearing his calling. They're getting tired of the bullshit that's going on. They see how crazy the world is becoming. You got to the point now where you got transgender men spreading their legs in front of a school classroom teaching shit, and the teachers teaching that it's okay to do that. That's when you know shit is terribly bad, man. You got all these wildfires running rapid. You got over 200,000 people that are having to be evacuated, and over 1 million people without power over there in Cali right now. Shit like that is shaking people up. They're beginning to asking what is going on. They want answers, and they're getting it from the prophets. This is Isaiah 14:1. It says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." Okay? Ultimately, the Lord will still choose Israel no matter what. And those strangers, the people that are lost, that are Israelites, are beginning to be woken up. They're being joined with those that are already woken to the truth. It's beautiful to see that. But hey, you gotta acknowledge that this thing is spreading. It's spreading real quick, man. Things are picking up at a very rapid pace. Those labor pains of the Lord punishing these nations are beginning to increase. And with that comes more wisdom and knowledge that's gonna grow. More people are gonna be asking, why is these things happening in the world? Why is this shit so chaotic? And then you got prophets saying, well, this is why. They're giving you the answers of why it's happening. Literally. Straight up, and reading it to you, stuff that was written thousands of years ago. And no other book is capable of doing that but the Lord's book. This is John 14:26. It says, but the Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you. Those things we're remembering now. We're remembering the times of our slavery. Remember the times of exits. Remembering being delivered from Egypt. We remember the transatlantic slave trade. Remembering all the oppressive things, all the numbers of millions of billions of indigenous people that have been slaughtered, all the wickedness that these damn devils, the Edomites, have done. And remembering at the point of time period where we were in righteous rulership and the earth was pure. All those things are being made to remembrance. And the biggest thing we're beginning to remember is the law, statutes, commandments, who the Lord is, what his name is, and how he's coming back. We're remembering what he promised us. And he promised us the kingdom. And we want it, man. Israel is getting hungry, man. They want more. And brothers have been always speaking in the past that, hey, get ready for more people to come up to these camps, especially when Esau's cracking down on these YouTube channel and pages. That's going to force people to get off their ass, get off the computer, and come out to find you. You're going to begin to get crowds of people that are going to be standing there listening. And that's when shit's really going to get real. That's when they're going to try to force us to get us off the streets. That's when you're going to have the framing's going to go on. The demonizing's going to go on. They're going to be putting your face on the news. They're going to be degrading you, slandering you. Brothers going to be losing their jobs, their houses, their marriages, all types of shit behind this truth, man. But you got to be strong in your faith to be able to withstand all of those things. Jeremiah 12:15, it says, it shall come to pass, after that I have plucked them out, I will return and have compassion on them, and will bring them again, every man to his heritage, and every man to his land. So this is the Lord having his compassion right now, is to allow you to still hear these words of this truth. And he has to pick you and give grace unto you to even receive it. A lot of people take this thing for granted. They don't understand that this is actually a gift that the Lord can take away at any instant, having this knowledge, understanding of the truth. You'll pick anything in your lives that piss you off and willing to push this truth aside, not knowing how valuable this thing is. And for those of you that don't value it, well, guess what? He's going to take it from you. He will take it from you. He will strip it from you. And you may think you know some shit and you out there laboring and doing it in vain. Well, the Lord knows your thoughts. He knows your heart. Look at what happened with Judas, man. He was out there. He was one of the direct disciples that followed Yahushua all the way up towards the end. But what happened? The Lord stripped that from him, man. The Lord straight up used him. He was out there teaching, waking up people, waking up the body, even though he turned out to be wicked at the end, man. So don't think you're somebody special in this thing either. Because the Lord can do you just like Judas at any time, man. If he knows your heart ain't right, you're not right in your spirit, he knows. He'll just straight up use you, man. You can do nothing but for the truth. This is Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. People are beginning to understand that they need to know what's going on. They need to have wisdom and knowledge. You got so many people out here that's just lost, man. Just lost in the sauce. They're too worried about what's going on in the music industries, what's going on TV, what's going on with sports, what's going on with how much money they making, what type of jobs, how much drugs they can smoke, partying, kicking it, going on vacations, People are concerned about all the shit of this world, anything and everything, but sticking to the mission of being delivered, gaining knowledge, and getting salvation, man. You can't lose focus on that. You got to appreciate the Lord blessing you to be awoken to this truth. Jeremiah 17:4, it says, "And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever." Okay, there was a long period of time where this prophecy was fulfilled on us. More so during the times of our direct physical slavery. We forgot who we were. We forgot we were Israelites for hundreds of years, man. Hundreds of years people been going around here not knowing that we God's chosen people and accepted what Esau pushes, us being the bottom of the barrel, man. For too long. But now that time where the Lord has lifted us off of us, man. Some of us, others still are completely lost. Others still are have no idea who they are and don't want to inquire. And some will try to tell them, but they don't want to hear it. You know, this is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 1. It says, "Hear ye, children, the instruction of a father, and attend to know understanding. For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law." You don't want to forsake this truth, man. This is good doctrine, good understanding. You got to put away all the bullshit. How many people telling you about what you teaching or what you learning is stupid or dumb? Who gives a fuck about what other people think, man? You know what this is. You can't lose your mind, your thought on track on how important this is, and the miracles that the Lord did to make sure that you actually were put in a position to hear these words. You take this for granted. You're taking your life for granted, man. You're taking your salvation for granted. It says, "For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also and said unto me, Let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments and live," man. We are those dry bones that the Lord is raising up that was referenced in Revelation. You know, those bones, dry bones, are the flesh is being put onto the bones. Okay? We're being reanimated into life. And we're getting to the point to where we're going to be receiving those heavenly bodies. That transformation is beginning to take place. It says, "Get wisdom, get understanding. Forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth." The Lord is telling you, you need to be seeking this truth. Fuck all the other bullshit that's going on around you, man. It says, "Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all that getting, get understanding." Get understanding of what these damn devils got plotting against you. Get understanding on how to protect yourself from the things to come. Because your only chance is going to be your faith in the Lord, bringing things up to work miracles to keep you safe on what's getting ready to happen. You know? So this is just a lesson just through the spirit, man. There's a lot of things happening right now. You know, people are talking about the truth. Truth and knowledge has been increased within the earth, man. People have been seeking to and fro, and hey, don't get left behind in this, man. So with that, I'm going to close out and give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, the time of truth and will well, and salutations to you, hopeful elect, pushing this truth in all honesty and sincerity. Shalom.